Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum everyone. Good to see all of you on this virtual network and on the virtual platform which has been created by Kadam, and they call this one basically Self-Connect. And this Self-Connect platform by Kadam is creating reverberations across the social media and is talking on different issues which are both pre, post, and during the COVID pandemic. Just to give a very short background about the Kadam or AKA, this was formulated by a group of very dynamic and socially conscious LUM students way back in February, and they got together and they decided that they would like to undertake some major and minor projects, and they very astutely went about planning them out and rolling them out. However, unfortunately, the pandemic hit the whole globe, and Pakistan went into a lockdown, and therefore those projects on which they had planned and they had organized and they had started rolling out, they naturally went to a stop. However, it did not deter them from contributing to society. These socially conscious students have also contributed not only in the awareness of the COVID-19 pandemic, but also in the different emergency relief efforts in different cities of Pakistan. And they have now created this particular platform so that they can add more value to the lives of individuals who are sitting at home and are extremely conscious of the fact that they have to improve their lives and move forward in this new global scenario. So, ladies and gentlemen, today's topic basically is a diverse, multifarious session in which we'll be talking about different things. We'll be talking about how a person can do and utilize his or her time during the pandemic, both at home and outside the home. And then secondly, how can you manage your time in a better way? And what are the different things that you can do while you are at home in this new situation, either in a lockdown or a partial lockdown. So, boys and girls, I would just like to introduce myself that my name is Hussain, and I am a adjunct faculty member of LUMS, and I also teach around the world in different universities in many countries. I basically am a trainer, consultant with numerous organizations, both national and international, and my topics which I teach in LUMS currently are tourism management and social entrepreneurship. But my core area is basically human resource and organizational behavior and business ethics coupled with psychology. So again, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, during these 2 months our lives have drastically changed. Whatever it was before March, no more is it the same, and no more will it remain the same. They say that there is only one constant, and that is change, and I think this pandemic is the biggest example of change, whereby the world has totally turned over, and the dynamics of living, the dynamics of education, the dynamics of development, the dynamics of business, the dynamics of sports, everything has totally changed. Now, it is extremely important that we have to make a choice. And the choice can be that either we live in a life of gloom and grief, that what has happened and what can we do, and there are so many problems, and in all of these problems we don't understand what is going to happen tomorrow. We see that the economy is breaking down, we see that jobs are being lost, we see that businesses are closing, we see that sometimes there's talk of partial lockdown, sometimes of a complete lockdown. We don't understand what can be done and what should we do. Different dynamics of life have come to a standstill. And then in that, what we can say is that we can go into a depression, or we can think that what can be done, and therefore engage or induce hypertension within our lives. Well, that is one choice, ladies and gentlemen. But then there is another choice. The other choice is that now you have ample time, that the life in which there was no full stop, and the only thing was that we have to do more and do more and do more and try to achieve more all the time. That sense of constant achievement has been given a break, and that sense of constant objectives has also calmed down, and our momentum has slowed. Now, the important thing is that the second choice is that we can sit down and we can introspect. And in that introspection, we can see that are there problems all around us, or do those problems actually focus as challenges? And those challenges can be interpreted as opportunities. And from those opportunities, we can recalibrate, we can realign, we can re-engineer our lives in a better way, whereby we can live a more wholesome life, which would not be about materialism only, or about achieving things for others, but also we can focus on our own desires, our own wishes, our own dreams, our own aspirations, our own hobbies, our own likes and dislikes, and see that in this time that we have, how we can reorganize ourselves in such a way that we can achieve something which is called inner contentment, inner fulfillment, inner happiness, and a wholesomeness that we are really doing something. And in that wholesomeness, we can achieve the real happiness rather than the superficial happiness. So again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a time for introspection, to look into ourselves, to see our hidden potential, to find out what are our positives and what are our negatives, what are our strengths and what are our weaknesses. And we can focus on our weaknesses and overcome them. And we can try to sharpen our strengths so that they can be utilized for the different activities of life. And sometimes one does not understand. I would just like to share two things with you that as I have for a long time had this very bad weakness that it was always very difficult for me to manage anger. But in these 8 weeks, what I have been able to do is that I have been able to manage my anger in a much better way, and I channelize it for something positive, and therefore the results which are amazing, which are emerging, are just amazing. So again, something which I had not been able to overcome for years, now in these months, I meditated, I focused my energies, I looked at different aspects and consequences of this trait that I have, and based upon that, through self-realization, I have been able to channelize my anger much more positively, much more constructively, and to the amazement of many people that now things don't bother me anymore. So that is another dimension. Another dimension which I am in the process, and it will be a long process, is understanding my own spirituality, understanding the different contexts and dimensions of the Quran, the Hadith and the Sunnah, and looking at the Islamic history and connecting things together and understanding it in a much better way, rather than just absorbing what everyone is saying, but actually now doing a lot of research and understanding the various implications of our religion Islam and how it can be adopted in a better way in one's life, and what are the things which one can share to others by role modeling and by adopting all of those practices, and what is the background of different practices and different concepts and different theories within Islam, and then connecting them together. And my next step is that I will go into interreligion comparison, and therefore then compare it with Christianity and Buddhism, and with that create a better understanding of the major religions of the world. So again, I have taken these months as an opportunity to learn something which, yes, in bits and pieces I have been acquiring all my life, but have not been able to actually develop the whole puzzle and put the pieces of the puzzle together in a more integrated and a more holistic fashion, which is about comparative religions and the religion of Islam. And then again, like I mentioned to you, one of the traits which I had identified that I have to move forward. When we basically talk about routine, then naturally, ladies and gentlemen, our routines have been badly or adversely affected. But again, it's a unique opportunity, an opportunity to wake up in the morning, an opportunity to do your exercise regularly, an opportunity to touch back with your spirituality and become maybe a little bit more punctual in it, an opportunity to exercise, to tone ourselves both physically and mentally, and based upon that, look up different things which are of our own interest, and one I just mentioned to you, rather than sitting in front of the TV and listening to the COVID-19 news and then getting depressed by it, and do the body count all the time, and do the patient count all the time, and do the way how the economy is going down, and how 1.6 billion jobs are going to be lost, how there's going to be a constriction of 35% of the global economy maybe, and maybe in Pakistan we are a little bit better placed geostrategically, and also because we have an agrarian economy, maybe we won't be hit, or we would be hit, or what is going to happen if there is a complete lockdown, if there is a partial lockdown, or if we open up the whole economy, what are the consequences? And then we are instilling ourselves with all those fears subconsciously, which affect us, and they create a lot of stress and headaches and hypertension and migraine headaches and whatnot. So rather than that, if you do want to watch TV, then I would suggest to you that rather than watching the news and watching the anchors fight amongst themselves and make politicians fight with each other, you can watch different documentaries which are coming. You can watch documentaries on BBC, you can watch documentaries on RT television, you can watch documentaries on DW television, you can watch documentaries on Al Jazeera, you can watch documentaries on this French TV and on CNN. So there are so many documentaries taking place, and you can look at the schedule and you can enrich yourself with some very unique knowledge and some very unique perspectives by watching these TVs. Or even on the local TV, you can identify when different documentaries, which are very few unfortunately, are taking place, and you can also listen to them. You can listen to some religious talk shows which take place, so that you can understand religion in a better way. Or you can also relax and watch National Geographic or the Animal World and things like that, which again would give you a better perspective of the environment and what is happening, and they have their own documentary. So that is one thing. Secondly, I would think that if you really want to break your routine, you can start learning a language. And in languages, I would suggest that you can take two options. And this is just a suggestion: either study Arabic or study Chinese. And Chinese, you do know, is the language of the future and is the fastest growing language right now. So you can pick up Mandarin. You don't have to go to any tutor. On your mobile phone, there are so many apps which you can download, and you can learn the language. It could be Arabic or it could be Chinese. So these are two good opportunities to learn the language. And then thirdly, like I was mentioning, you can also now around the world, hundreds of universities and training institutions are offering free courses. So you can pick up those courses. You can pick up courses from Harvard University, from Stanford University, from UC Berkeley. You can pick up courses from NYU, from Cambridge, from Oxford, from the National University of Singapore, from the University of Beijing, from Tokyo University, from the from the University of Sydney, from Sydney University, from the University of Adelaide, from New Zealand. So many universities are now offering courses which are free in this pandemic, and you can get those certifications. Different institutions are offering them. So it's a unique opportunity that you identify different courses which would cost many hundreds of dollars, and you can do them for free. Some universities are also now going to be offering even degree programs on very discounted rates. So that is another opportunity which is emerging, and you can improve on your academic excellence by enrolling in those programs, because there is no difference between distance learning or on-site learning anymore, and this degree is the same. So therefore, one, it is cheaper. Second, it will be at your own time and your own pace. And fourthly, it would cost very less. So I would suggest that you can do those particular programs. You can learn yoga, which is a very good stress reliever, and you can learn to relax. You can connect with those friends whom you have not been in touch with, those friends which are in the country, which are around the globe. Don't hesitate, Johanna, don't hesitate, and don't have these ego issues that should I call, should I not call, we have not called for so long. Just pick up the phone, just pick up your mobile phone, or just open up your laptop and dial the number, or just send that email and reconnect. And I assure you that the other person would be more than happy to rejoin and rebridge and rebuild that old relationship with you. And it also goes with family members also. Another thing which I think you can and should do is to help your own family members, and not to take things for granted, but to reach out and do simple house chores, or help your mother, help your father, or do different things, and be a support mechanism within the family. And then another thing that is happening, just like Kadam, or they're doing different relief activities, and also developing these platforms. You can share your own good stories. You can share role models. You can share inspirational write-ups. You can start writing about different things. You can start talking about different things. So these are the different things that you can do during this pandemic, and positively reconstruct your life in such a way that when the pandemic ends, then you are absolutely geared to move forward with full momentum, with a new vigor, with a new enthusiasm, with a new passion, with this great desire that you will fulfill many things that you were thinking of for many years but had not attempted, and therefore you would do a multitask approach towards life, and also try to balance out the things which were missing in these past years. But due to this pandemic, you have this opportunity to strategize and chalk out all of that and move forward through this virtual world, which has exponentially grown and provided infinite opportunities to everyone. You have the opportunity of learning new softwares, you have the opportunity to develop new videos and whatnot. So all of these things are extremely important. And in time management, one thing that I would like to advise is that an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So don't stay idle. I mean, you can think about the future, you can think about yourself, you can think about those people who are extremely important in your life, you can realign all of the important stakeholders, but don't remain idle, because when you are idle, then that's a devil's workshop, and you would end up thinking about negative things, and that would naturally create a glut within you and also a depression. So don't do that. Like I said, watch documentaries on the TV if you want to, on the internet or in social media. Again, you can look at various positive programs which are taking place, positive talk shows which are taking place, positive programs which are taking place. Call your friends, have a productive conversation with them, see what you can do at home, read a good book which you have wanted to read for quite some time, and therefore do something. So again, I think that good time management would be to start your day early in the morning, to take it as a stretch, and then to sleep at a time whenever you get exhausted. It depends from person to person. Some people need 8 hours of sleep, some people need 4 hours of sleep. That depends upon you and your body construct again. So again, you take the full day ahead, and then when you go to sleep, you have a deep sleep, and then you wake up with the same vigor every day. So that is extremely important. So ladies and gentlemen, the important thing is understanding yourself, and after understanding yourself, realigning yourself, and then taking the first step, because a journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, and getting ready for the post-pandemic situation. So I will end with a quotation, and that is, nothing withstand the power of a determined and resolute mind. Barriers fall, everything succumbs. If positively inspired, the very gates of heaven open. So ढूंढने से तो खुदा मिल जाता है अगर निकलो तो. So take that step, venture out, and reinvigorate yourself, revitalize yourself, rejuvenate yourself, and take out that hidden energy which is within you, and strive for excellence for yourself. And in that, when you are achieving excellence wherever you can, try to spread hope, try to spread smiles, try to spread positivity, and try to help whoever you can. And that is what humanity is all about. And we move forward and we make this world a better place, inshallah, to live in. So take care, everyone. With that, I would like to end. Pakistan Zindabad.